Hello and welcome to your yoga mat. I'm so glad that we're able to practice together today. Our focus is all about helping to release tension and tightness in the hips. And I've created this practice for those days that you really just want to target in on this particular area of the body. As you know, it's your body. Listen to your body throughout the practice. If we're in any stretch or pose that feels quite lovely and you want to linger there, certainly feel free to do so. And of course, if we're in any pose or doing any stretch that's uncomfortable, that's your signal to ease off. And remember, you can always skip any pose that we're doing. So let us go ahead and settle into our practice, settle into our mat. I'm actually sitting on a little bit of support of a blanket. Be comfortable. We'll just be here for a few moments. And I'll invite you just to let the hands rest comfortably to the legs. Possibly either let the eyes close or just let your gaze rest for a moment to the floor. There's really nothing you need to visually see at the moment. Just allowing that soft awareness or attention to draw into the body, into your breath, and feeling the ease or the fullness of your breath rise and fall easy through your chest. Take the moment to notice the sit bones, the legs, the thighs, making contact to the support beneath you. The pelvis relaxed. We can let the belly just be relaxed. We don't have to grip or hold anything in at the moment. And then noticing that sense of openness and length again of your spine. Relaxation through the shoulders. Let's take a nice long inhale and exhale. Just one more nice deep breath in. On your exhale, I'll invite you just gently to draw your chin towards your chest. Hug the shoulder blades gently on the back. So now you're feeling this little bit of stretch extend into the shoulders, down through the neck. Give a soft gaze to your side left. Soft gaze to your side right. Little easy circular motion, both ways. Remember, you don't necessarily need to drop the head back. You don't have to roll your head all the way back. Just a little gaze up and then drawing the chin in. And start to bring this nice, easy circular motion into the shoulders. Up, back, and down. Nice deep breath in and out. Good. And then take a nice reach back of the arms, reach through the fingertips, and take a reach of the arms overhead. Just a little stretch of one arm to the side. Not to worry, I promise we'll be getting to our hips here soon enough. Hold the other wrist, lengthen from the hip through the rib cage, lengthening across the room. Good. Exhale and relax. Hands to the knees. As you breathe out, bring your spine to roll back, seated version of cat. Cow. The inhale, soft lift of the chest, heart to the sky, and the exhale, gently rounding the spine. Good. One more lift through. Exhale, start to stretch the spine back and come back to neutral. So feel that we have this quality of length again. We could, if we're on a block, I would suggest moving the block out to the side. If you're somewhat low to the floor, you can keep that support there. Hands to the knees, and then just start to give this soft little motion in your hip. So we're circling clockwise a few times, counterclockwise a few times. And it doesn't have to be a very large movement. You could stay rather upright. As it's comfortable, you can really start to stretch through to the side, forward, up, and around. We're starting to bring circulation into the body, lubricating slow and just gently into the joints. And now from here, let's come right back up nice and tall. Good. So I'll invite you now to take the other foot in front of you. The one that might feel a little awkward, simply because it's most likely not your habit. Hands again resting comfortably into the legs. Take a breath in. Hinge at your hip. And we're only going as far as it's comfortable in the hip, the knee, and the back. Starting to give a stretch forward. And a reach to your side. And a gentle reach to your side. And then again, a stretch forward. Breath in, we'll slowly come right up. Stretch again through the arms. Exhale, lovely, and release. Let's transition into table pose. Take the moment to just find that nice, easy alignment. Hands under the shoulders, and yes, hands under shoulders and knees under the hips. Start to move through your spine again. This little shift through the spine, cat-cow. And then exhale. Go ahead, round your back, give a little nudge of your rib cage side, and back to table. Okay, so from here, we're gonna start to lead with our right leg, our right hip. Take that right leg up and just start to give a little circular motion. It could be a little motion as it's comfortable. You can circle a little larger in this hip. And we go both directions. You can even extend the leg back. And then I'm going to invite you to stretch that leg back and stretch through with your left arm. So it's opposite arm to leg and round into the spine. Stretch across, rounding in. And now we're just going to reach through, take a breath, hand to the mat, stretch your right leg back behind you, give a few little nudges or pulses of your heel to the floor, and bring that right foot forward. Now to the upper outer edge of the mat. If your back knee is not comfortable on the floor, add a little pillow or cushion. You might even kind of nudge it a little further back so that you can get deeper stretch into this hip. So just find what's comfortable for you. So here I have this right leg pressing away from my chest. Folding in slowly to the hip. Taking a few nice deep breaths here. And then roll back through your hip and lengthen your hamstring. Bend your knee. And roll back through your hip. Once again, bending the knee. So now, with this forward knee bent, if this is quite comfortable and this is a good place, stay here. Next possibility, lift up through your right arm. Your right leg's forward, lift your right chest. Come right back in and take that right leg back behind you. From there, stretch back to downward dog. Walk out the legs a little bit. Right leg that you had forward, lifting that right hip and leg to the sky, opening through that forward part of the hip, hugging the heel to the hip a couple times, back into the mat. Downward dog. If it's comfortable, give a gentle shift through your hips, side to side. And exhale, back into the mat. Move again nice and easy through cat-cow. Just helping to release any stagnation and tightness that builds in the lower body and throughout the spine. Back into table. Taking now this left leg, circling easy into the left hip. And we're going to circle the other way as well. Keep the gaze right between the hands to the mat so you're not straining in the neck. Stretch your leg back, press through your heel. And then let's go ahead. We're just going to give a little nudge of the heel to the floor. Press the heel down. We're going to lift up through that leg. Stretch the right arm. As you breathe out, round your elbow, knee, and chin in. Stretch forward. Elbow, knee, and chin in. Lovely. Stretch forward. One more time, round the spine. Stretch across the room. Take a breath in. Hand to the floor. Take that back leg and sweep it forward, up again to the outer edge of the mat. So for myself, I often find that it's helpful to curl the back toes under and kind of take that back knee a little further back. Remember, if the knee's uncomfortable, double over the mat like so, or add a little cushion. Don't think I'll just suffer through. And start to stretch back into this left hip. And bend the left knee. Go back again, lengthening through the hamstring, through the back of the leg. Third time, let's pause here, just melt into this forward hip. Take a breath in, lift wide, opening the chest to the sky. And as we're lifting the left chest and arm, allow your left knee to open further away from your chest. Folding back in, stretching your leg easily back behind you, and downward dog. Take a nice lift again now with that left leg, open your left hip. Hug the heel a couple times to the hip and back to the sky. And back in to downward facing dog. Let's take a few nice deep breaths here, just pausing. Easy inhale, easy exhale. Come back steadily to the floor. Circle now into your hip, down towards your heel, up and over to your side. Both directions, clockwise, easily, counterclockwise as well. Give a brief pause. Back now to child's pose. It's helpful to have the knees slightly apart, so there's that hollow place for the torso to rest, and then comfortably rest the head to the back of the hands. Soft stretch down through the back, extending into the hip. Take one or two more deep breaths. You can give a little nudge through the hip as it's comfortable, side to side. A little stretch forward through the arms, lengthening into the rib cage, the back. And we're going to come right through to roll back to sit on our heel. We're moving into a yogi squat, what we call balasana. If that's not comfortable in the knee or hip or anywhere, don't push through it. Go to a forward fold. So we'll either be here, nice forward fold, the stretch the legs, even through the back. If it's hurting or uncomfortable, bend your knee to ease that tension. And if we're comfortable in a yogi squat, we're gonna have our feet rather wide, wider than hip width apart. Knees and tiptoes are pointing out 45 degrees. And then we're letting the hip just rest with gravity to the floor. So notice for myself, my heels aren't touching. Yours may touch, but we still want to keep this quality of hips rooted to the floor. So if I try to let my heels touch the floor, this would be my squat. So we really want to keep the hip down as long as we feel comfortable in the knees and hips. Remember that forward fold is perfectly lovely. Whether forward fold or a squat, we're giving a little shift through our hips side to side. This is also a nice little stretch through the back. Also in the forward fold, we're getting that nice stretch. And then as we exhale, we're going to come right back through. Pause in this forward fold. Feel free to bend the knee or legs lengthen. Give a gentle sway side to side. Pause into the hip, melting all the way in. Coming up slowly to standing. Good, and let's just stand to mountain pose. So we rest here, finding that sense of length through our spine, gentle opening of our heart to the sky. And we're gonna have our feet just a little wider than hip width apart and start to now circle into your hip. A gentle circle clockwise and counterclockwise. Good. Bring your knees in, little circle of the knee. And then we'll just circle the wrists and ankles as well while we're here. Ball of the foot could be to the floor or lifted, and switch the other leg, the other foot. Great. Take your feet now out rather wide, wider than hip width apart certainly. Knees and tiptoes are pointing out to the side. Just a brief forward fold, and in that forward fold, gently move into your hip side, side. When you stretch to one side, you'll likely feel that stretch extend through the inner thigh as you melt into one hip and leg. And then reverse, take a couple breaths to the other side. Pause into the hip here, just a nice wide leg forward fold, that stretch extending through the back of the leg. And we'll slowly again come up to standing. Bring the feet in together. Kind of just shake out the feet a little bit, shake out the legs. And we're going to take one leg and simply cross it over the other. Now we'll stretch forward, and we're really able to target this stretch through our backmost leg, not just the leg, but even up towards the glute, the hamstring, giving a gentle forward fold. Can easily just sway side to side. Pause, take a few breaths, let the weight of the head be heavy. Come up slow all the way through to standing. Bring our other leg over. Give that gentle forward fold. Again, if you like, you can give a gentle sway side to side. A pause into the hip here, into this leg. And again, slowly and easily, just coming right back up. Good, please come right back to the mat briefly to butterfly pose. Soles of our feet touch in. Give a little rock through the sit bones side to side, and exhale, start to stretch or hinge forward at your hip. Pause here, a few nice breaths. Again, if there's any pose we're in that you feel like it's really lovely and helpful for you, feel free to stay there, explore that pose a little deeper, a little longer. We're going to rise through, take our feet out to the side. Kneecaps, tiptoes pointing skyward, hinging at our hip, lengthening again through the spine. Nice, easy stretch extending through the back of our legs. Let's take a nice breath in for 3, 2, 1. And again, slowly rising up. We're headed to pigeon pose. If, however, that's not comfortable for you, I invite you to come back to these two poses, butterfly pose, and also then alternating with extending the legs forward. Moving back and forth between those two, taking several breaths and pause in each pose. If we're headed to pigeon pose, let's go ahead and transition to table. Table right back through to our downward dog once again. Just pausing, feeling that sense of length through the spine. And we're starting to now lift through the right hip, right leg, and sweeping that right knee forward to pigeon. Be mindful of sensation in your knee and hip. Any discomfort, go ahead and return back to those first two poses I was showing you. We're going to gently fold down into this hip. So we've done some really nice preliminary hip openers. You wouldn't necessarily go right to pigeon pose first thing in your yoga practice. It can be a deeper stretch, and so you want to give the fascia and all the muscles, fibers a chance to ease into the stretch. So no force. We know that phrase, no pain, no gain. That's not how we approach our yoga practice. We're really intentional to let it be a practice of listening to our body, not pushing past what's comfortable. Now we could stay simply static and hold this stretch here. If you're already familiar with pigeon pose and you like, you're always welcome to give that little reach to the side. And also to the other side possibly. Or again, just staying comfortable right into the center. A couple more breaths just as we rest here. We could be high to the hands naturally or even extended with the arms. Just finding what's a comfortable place for you today. We'll come back to our hands, and from our hands we're going to come back to table or downward dog initially, stretching that right leg and hip to the sky. Releasing that foot down. Take a breath in, stretch up with the other leg to the sky. Meanwhile, that back heel is nudging to the floor. And once more, thread the leg forward. Steady all the way through to our pigeon pose, finding our way comfortable to the floor. So if I know I'm going to be seated for a long period of time, whether at the desk, maybe in a long car ride, I'll do a practice of about 30 minutes or so of nice stretches for the low back and hips. Take a few deep breaths here. Again, you give that little rock if it's comfortable side to side, perhaps stretching further forward. Just possibilities. Again, if you prefer, you could give a little reach to the side. And a gentle reach to your side. We pause again, right back to pigeon pose, no rush. So it's really helpful that we take the time of that self-care to attend to our body, even if it's not causing us any discomfort, to keep discomfort and tension and tightness at bay. We'll again come up right back to our hands, a little rock through the hip, back to table pose or downward dog, stretching your leg again to the sky. Settling back to the mat, downward facing dog. A few nice deep breaths here, lengthening again into your spine. And if you're doing the alternative pose of butterfly pose or wide leg extended forward fold, you can also join us here now for downward facing dog. Take another breath, and in your time, melt the knees to the floor. Brief pause back to child's pose. Rest comfortably here as you pause. Take 3 deep breaths. There's no rush in your time. As you're ready, come through. We're going to transition to our back. I often like to have just a little support, folded beach towel or blanket to my head, though not necessary. And come to your back, just resting your whole body, heavy and comfortable, to the floor. Roll the shoulder blades down the back, arms resting at your side. Pausing here for a moment, and once more, feel that your pelvis and belly become soft and relaxed. Feel the glute muscles, the legs and hips fully relaxed. The mind may drift, but come back to your breathing. On your breath out, just easy and slow, bring your knees to your chest. Soft rock on the back, side to side. Circle easy into the hip, clockwise several times, counterclockwise several times. Place your left ankle to your right thigh. Arms can just relax. Of course, if you wanted to, they could rest to your right hamstring. I personally like to have the arms at the side, and it's just, again, this nice gentle motion into your hip. This figure 4 position or pose is one of my go-tos if I'm feeling tightness extending into the hip, or even sometimes that feeling, if you experience sciatica, this can be a really good pose to help ease that a little bit. We're going to hold here and breathe in and just hold this stretch, hold the pose. Relax in the jaw and your face. And if you want to now, give a little roll to your right side. Again, a breath in and out. And back. And then release. Just change. Right ankle in, a little circular motion in this right hip. Clockwise, gently counterclockwise. Rock side to side. And then once more, let's just simply hold. Hug in and give a little hold. If it's too much of a stretch, ease off of that hug in towards the body. Maybe again we give a little roll to our left side if our right ankle is on that left thigh. Pay attention to the sensation or stretch the outer edge of your right hip. Good, and again, just release this. Take both legs up to the air, kind of shake them out. Bring your knees in, bent, happy baby pose. Gentle rock on your back, side to side. Take your knees into your chest, give a gentle hug in. Stretch just your right leg to the sky. Move through that right ankle, flex back and forth through the foot. Stretch your right leg to the ground all the way through. Good. And then take this left leg, a gentle sweep over to your right side, little twist. Come up, circle into this left hip, and then just let that sole of the left foot rest the inner edge of your leg. You're in reclined tree pose. The arms can reach back alongside your ears as you like. Take a deep breath in. And again, certainly feel free to linger any time that you like. Some stretches will feel better to you than others, as they will be targeting different areas, and we're all tight in different areas. Once again, roll this left knee into your chest, right knee as well, and then stretch your left leg to the sky. Move through your left ankle. Good. Stretch that left leg slow and easy to the floor. Taking this right hip, little twist over to the left side. Roll your knee in. Sole of the foot resting to the inner leg. Back again to reclined tree pose. Relaxing the eyes, jaw, and forehead. Nice, slow breath in. And slow, easy breath out. And as you're ready again, you're just slowly going to bring your right knee into your chest, stretching that right leg to the sky, and we'll lengthen that leg to the floor. Take a nice deep stretch through the fingers, through the toes, and then exhale, bring both knees in. A little rock on your back, side to side. Gentle twist legs one direction. And just soft, easy sweep or twist to the other direction. come back easy to just let both legs lengthen to the ground, to pause, to final relaxation. Arms can either rest to the belly or to your side. Be quite comfortable. Allow the full weight of your body to relax easy to the floor. And take the time to make any adjustments that would be comfortable for you right here. Let's take 3 deep breaths, each breath bringing a greater sense of ease and well-being to the whole of your body, mind, and heart. And then just start to give a nice stretch again back through the arms and through your legs. Gently bring your knees into your chest. A little roll to your side once again, and pressing all the way back to our full, easy upright seat together. May we find that opening, that little lift through our heart, the shoulders relaxing down the back, the shoulder blades. Bring the hands back to the heart center.